say stuff like, oh, Nolan was sweet. Nolan, he didn't like fights. He was the peacemaker. Nolan, this, that, and the third. But Nolan is the only one that's not here. So was he a sacrifice? I'm just saying, everything is alleged, right? It's just like, I don't know. It was 250 years of America. Nolan, was it an accident? And then they tried to cover it up. Somebody said Bart needs to lawyer up. Yeah, the truth needs to come out. And so they setting it up for after the fact. Because I do remember what Kyle Rittenhouse, once he got off, he sued a bunch of people. No one had anything bad to say about Nolan. Nobody. And so that's why I'm trying to figure out, well, who did have a problem with Nolan? Because when he said he got the call from Warren, that's another thing that stuck out. Was Nolan. You find the girl, you find Nolan. Like he a ladies' man, right? Like he's a girl magnet. Is that the problem? Everybody loved Nolan. He a jokester. He got a great personality. He a sportsman. He got all the girls. You know what I'm saying? That's the vibe that I'm getting. Bart had paid defense weeks ago. Well, a person that's speaking up for Bart is free. And you probably right. Yeah, they probably all did weeks ago. But this guy is speaking out now. And it seemed like he's speaking up for Nolan. I mean, he's speaking up for Bart. So I'm assuming that's who he went with. Apparently Wyatt did what? Lawyer up whoever was in love with Katie. Exactly. Because they keep bringing her up like they want her to be a part. Did she lawyer up? I know that her sister said they've been in contact with the family. I think the authorities too. I will have to find exactly what she said, but no, brush up on your Black history. That is incorrect. What are you talking about? Get the hell out my chat. I can say whatever I want to say. I don't have to be perfect. Tatum defending this nonsense makes me think he reviews historical footage of civil rights marches just to see if the fire hoses had proper water pressure. Let me keep this going. We'll be here all day.
And racism? No. That was a shock. That was a complete shock. From his mom and from his stepdad. Like, that's a shock. That's an utter shock, because it's like, first off, I don't know how to word this. Nolan wasn't fully Black.
So some people was upset and felt like he overstepped his boundaries, saying that was Nolan's stepdad. But I honestly wondered if it was his stepdad too, and it was just because of the differences of the last names. Because originally I thought Wells was the married name, but then when they introduced her as Walmsley and him as introduced her as Walmsley and the husband as Walmsley, I was like, well, where does Wells come from? And then I'm like, okay, well, that's her maiden name, right? But usually people give their dudes their child's last name, even if they not married. But occasionally you have females that will give her kids her last name. So I was not sure. But he just said that that's his stepfather. And as far as the person asking me about, hold on. That was for people in here talking about, okay. My bad, Charmaine. I just seen that. See, if you don't word it in a way where I know that you're not talking about me, I'ma just automatically assume that you're talking about me. So thank you for clearing that up, Charmaine, because I'd rather not have to deal with wild comments. And then, as far as somebody asking me, why do I think it's a cover-up, or why do we think it's a cover-up? I'm an individual. I don't group think. But I'm not about to sit up there and explain something that should be obvious. And if it's not, then you trying not to understand it. And I ain't got time. Okay.
Nolan's mixed. Nolan has a little bit of Asian in him. You don't hear that though.
What that mean?
You don't. So to turn it as like somebody's harping down on Nolan because of the color of his skin, you don't know us. You don't know our community.
I mean, a drop of black blood makes him black. Like, stop it. I mean, but maybe he don't know that. But if I didn't see Nolan's mother, I would think he was fully black. I'm just saying. Like, I would. Him, Jalen, Javon, all of them. I would think they were fully black. So, you know. What y'all think in the chat?
Nolan has a little bit of Asian in him.
Mm.
You don't hear that though. You don't. Like, that's a shock. And racism, no. That actually around here, everybody loved Nolan. So for people to repost that, they know Nolan. I mean, they know he did not have one hateful thing in his heart. And racism, no. That was a shock. That was a complete shock from his mom and from his stepdad. Like, that's a shock. That's an utter shock, because it's like, first off, I don't know how to word this. Nolan wasn't fully black. Nolan's mixed. Nolan has a little bit of Asian in him.
Mm.
You don't hear that though. You don't. So to turn it as like somebody's harping down on Nolan because of the color of his skin, you don't know us. You don't know our community. It's crazy that people are just running with a lie. And it's so easy for people to believe it from the outside, looking into Mississippi's history per se. But it's like, you're looking at history. Let's go to each state's history. I bet they're not the best with black people. Like, people change. You learn history so you don't repeat it. Everybody knows that.
What's the craziest lie that you've seen floating around?
That's the gaslight. History is repeated, and history is repeated purposely, in my opinion. So, I mean, make it make sense. Like, they trying to roll it back in the government. Like, you see different things happening that's kind of trying to go backwards, right? History repeats itself. So just like clothes and different styles and different styles of clothes and hairstyles, they leave and they come back. History repeats itself.
About this situation, I know there's a lot of mysterious things, but like, what to you, what's the craziest thing that you've heard somebody say about this?
That my buddy in the photo was his lover. That was wild. That's been the utmost craziest, because it's like, what? Like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if he's talking about Eric and the one that was touching his inner thigh, I mean, you have to wonder, like, because I mean, I wondered, I'm like, could it have been that somebody in the group had a crush on Nolan, and Nolan was with this Katie chick? You know, it could be male or female. We can't act like we not living in those times right now. We can't act like it's impossible. Anything is possible. What?
I mean, also the lies of just how racist Mississippi is, or how racist the coast is, and Ocean Springs. And yeah, no, you don't know this, man. Like, you have no idea. And what I thought was crazy a lie from the beginning was he's the only black person on the boat. He's the only black person on the island. No, not at all. Like, not once. Like, where'd you?
Okay, 10 to 1,000.
You get this background information from?
How many people are on that island from your vantage point?
On the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Thousands? 13 miles? Like, I mean, you're talking hundreds and hundreds of boats that are carrying minimum 4 to 8, 9 people.
So how did anybody miss anything?
Like, I'm talking like on the lower end, man. We're talking about smaller vessels here. Man, if I had to take a rough estimate in my area of the island that I was in, 400, 500 people easy. If I'm taking an actual estimate, about 400 to 500 people easy. In our group, in the group of I would say young adults that were in the group of Nolan Wells, 100, 150, 200 people.
So the idea that Nolan went out with 4 white boys and they took him to a deserted island and he was allegedly last seen with a girl and they just abandoned him. What do you say to that?
That's no. We, from the time they left, including myself, and also when I left the island, I could have named 50 people I really trust behind the helm of a boat that Nolan knew, that he could go talk to. Even if he was left, there was tons and tons of people out there. There was 10 boats that camped out at Horn Island. I know a boat that didn't leave Horn Island until 8 o'clock that night. Nobody would have ever seen, nobody would have ever left somebody on Horn Island. That's a place that everybody loves to go and hang out.
Did he just say it was 10 boats that camped? So none of those boats that camped didn't see Nolan? 10 boats? Now, I know that the father said that it was people that stayed out there chilling all night. And they said that, people can't stay out there all night, or at least that's what I heard. But then I heard that you can. So which is it? And then you would think, with that many people out there, the Coast Guards would have been just like the police is if it's a parade or any other event going on the land. So how did they not pull up on these young kids drinking? How did they not how did they not pull up on 3 fights or 2 of them going on? Because we got Tristan saying he was into one, and then it was Wyatt's brother. Warren's brother. Were those fights connected? And then there was something that happened with Nolan. So, it wasn't something that he willingly did in my opinion. So I'm going to label that as a fight also. So where was the Coast Guards? Who went to jail that day? Who got arrested that day? That's what I want to know. Do anybody know that? Because if they had that and the fight that I put up, it was a whole lot going on. It was a whole lot going on that day. Nobody was arrested. Because that man that was fighting the kid that looked like Warren's brother, Warren's brother looked like he was probably 16 years old, and this man looked over 40 that had hit his nose. He was leaking out there. Leaking. When I say they left right after that, and then this is the same time that he's saying that he left, he said 10 minutes after he talked to 10 minutes after he got done talking to Nolan is when he got into the fight. Anna Seymour posted her video at 4:01. It had just ended, and you could still hear the arguing from it. Right, he said 30 minutes to 45 minutes after that, he left, which would put him, the 30 minutes would put him right at 4:31 when they said the boat left that we thought that Nolan was on, right? So it sounds like it was all connected. It sounds like it was all connected. Make it make sense.
Oh, that's their piece. Nobody wants to see anybody out there, especially in the boating community. And I can speak on that, like, genuinely. I grew up in it. That's absurd. It's absurd.
So can you help me understand the fight a little better? Because I interviewed Warren, who's your friend, and he had made mention that his brother was involved in the fight. So can you explain who actually started fighting, and were you fighting his brother, or were you fighting somebody else? Like, how did that happen?
And I can see now, especially, it's all been blown out of proportion. But so originally, I'll go back a couple steps. Me and my girlfriend, I wouldn't even call it an argument. She was upset that I lost the lid to her koozie. I dropped it in the water. Generally speaking, that's how it started. And I dropped her new koozie in the water. And so she started to let me hear it and basically told me I was paying for it. And she was really upset with me and mad about it. And I needed to kind of sober up a little bit. And so we're walking back. And during that time, this guy that I'm not friends with, I know of him. I don't know him. I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight. He had butted himself into my conversation and basically was telling me how I needed to handle or address the situation with my girlfriend. And man, we weren't even yelling at each other. We weren't arguing. It was more along the lines of, I literally told her, I was like, man, I just want a beer. And she was like, well, go get one, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I said that, she had ducked her head underwater, and he had walked up and he told me that I needed to watch how I talked to my girlfriend. And I looked at him and I told him, I was like, this has nothing to do with you. We're good. This has nothing to do with you. And he sat there and he was like, well, I'm going to tell you, I better not hear it again. And I looked at him and I was like, you need to excuse yourself from the situation. And after that came out, he swung. He threw the first punch. And we went back and forth. I remember at one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle, and my uncle's yelling at me to get in the boat. I stopped fighting. As soon as me and him made eye contact, I got in the boat, I'm sorry. And I listened to my uncle.
And what was Warren's brother involvement in this?
And so I was getting there. So when I'm on the boat and they're trying to cool me down, I'm trying to get back off the boat. So I see the crowd forming up on the island. Well, my little brother and Carter are like really good friends, like best friends, I would say. He's over at our house all the time. Carter heard him still talking crap as he's getting out of the water, and I'm on the boat, and the situation is like done and over with, right? Well, he sees him talking crap, so Carter gets up and more along the lines of defending me. And for what? He was like, well, if you got a problem with Tristan, we can handle it right here.
So what's the racial breakup of these people that are involved? So the guy that you fought was
white. I'm the only black guy involved in this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
And at all. Like, I mean, I don't know. Carter is white. The dude I got in a fight with is white. Mm-hmm. I was the only black guy involved with this. My girlfriend's white. My uncle's white.
Okay, so with that being said, if he said he know of the guy that said something to him, what would make this guy just haul off and say anything to him? Maybe he got a problem with who he's dating. For him to butt in on something that minor, that don't make sense to me. And then you heard him asking about Warren's brother, and then he goes mentioning somebody, Carter. So when he said Carter, it made me think about a Trace Carter, because it's a Trace Carter that's a friend, but I think Trace Carter is mixed, and people was thinking that he might have been Trace. So I don't know. I still don't know no more than I knew when we first listened as far as this fight, because the reasoning for it don't make sense. And if it is somebody you know, so why would he start mess with you on the island? Y'all could have fought anywhere else. And when he asks about Warren's brother, he talks about Carter. Like, is Carter Warren's brother then? Is that what he's saying? Like, did that make sense to y'all? He sounds like he forgot he was exactly. He don't realize that he black. Kids are booze. That means fights. Kids, yeah, and that means jail for whoever providing it and whoever doing it. None of us know. Hell, he don't even know. Like, make it make sense what he just said, though. Because if you think about it, when we first learned about this, the first video that came out was about an argument that we could hear. He then comes out and admits that it's him. And so, this is what everybody is thinking, that it was involved with Nolan. He comes in and say, oh, no, that didn't have nothing to do with Nolan. That was me. But then when he asked him about saying, give me my effing phone back and all that, that's not what he said. I would love to know what did he say in what we could hear, right? Because surely if we can try to make out what he's saying, he would know what he's saying if he listened to it. Then we had the coach come out and say, oh, I was waiting for the person who it was to come out and say it wasn't him, but I knew that wasn't Nolan's voice that I was hearing. But ain't nobody making sense when it come down to explaining this, because that what he just said, it don't make sense to me at all. Sorry.
He's getting out of the water, and I'm on the boat, and the situation is like done and over with, right? Well, crowd forming up on the island. Well, my little brother and Carter are like really good friends, like best friends, I would say. He's over at our house all the time.
So, with him saying that, he just said my little brother and Carter. So is Carter, Warren's little brother then, because that's what I'm thinking, because he was in a fight. But then he got his nose busted and all that. So, I mean, who helped him?
Crowd forming up on the island. Well,
hold on.
At one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle, and my uncle in the situation. And after I came out, he swung. We're good. This has nothing to do with you. And she had ducked her head underwater, and he had walked up, and he told me, like, she was like, well, go get one, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I said that, she had ducked her head underwater, and he had walked up, and he told me that I needed to watch how I talked to my girlfriend. And I looked at him, and I told him, I was like, this has nothing to do with you. We're good. This has nothing to do with you. And he's been with my girlfriend about it, and I needed to kind of sober up a little bit. And so we're walking back, and during that time, this guy that I'm not friends with, I know of him. I don't know him. I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight.
In the original fight? Wait, what?
That I'm not friends with, I know of him. I don't know him. I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight.
What? How many fights was it? Like, didn't he just say that? What?
A little bit. And so we're walking back, and during that time, this guy that I'm not friends with, I know of him. I don't know him. I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight. He butted himself into my conversation and basically was telling me how I needed to handle or address the situation with my girlfriend. And man, we weren't even yelling at each other. We weren't arguing. It was more along the lines of, I literally told her, I was like, man, I just want a beer. And she was like, well, go get one, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I said that, she had ducked her head underwater, and he had walked up, and he told me that I needed to watch how I talked to my girlfriend. And I looked at him, and I told him, I was like, this has nothing to do with you. We're good. This has nothing to do with you. And he sat there, and he was like, well, I'm going to tell you, I better not hear it again. And I looked at him, and I was like, you need to excuse yourself from the situation. And after I came out, he swung. He threw the first punch. And we went back and forth. I remember at one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle, and my uncle's yelling at me to get in the boat. I stopped fighting. As soon as me and him made eye contact, I got in the boat. I'm sorry. And I listened to my uncle.
And what was Warren's brother involvement in this?
And so I was getting there. So when I'm on the boat and they're trying to cool me down, I'm trying to get back off the boat. So I see the crowd forming up on the island. Well, my little brother and Carter are like really good friends, like best friends, I would say. He's over at our house all the time. Carter heard him still talking crap as he's getting out of the water, and I'm on the boat, and the situation is like done and over with, right? Well, he sees him talking crap, so Carter gets up and more along the lines of defending me. And for what? He was like, well, if you got a problem with Tristan, we can handle it right here.
So what's the racial breakup of these people that are involved?
Instead of him asking more about the brother in the fight, because that's what we want to know more about that, but he want to go there. Like, okay, so it don't make sense to me that a teenager that's a kid will get involved with this older guy that I seen that was that was going off. If that is the fight, like, I really believe it. It makes no sense. Then we heard Warren say that some girl told him that his brother was in a fight. He walked over there, and then he said he ran over there and to grab his no, he said he ran over there to get his brother pretty much, but somebody was being put away when he got over there, and he told his brother to come and hang with them on the water. So he didn't mention nothing about Tristan. See how it's like they not connecting the dots for you at all. They making it where you have to try to figure it out. Separation worked very fine. So how he don't mention about his phone being taken? Because if that was him, he would have mentioned it. That wasn't him. He lying. Yeah, it's a bunch of lying going on here. I mean, it don't make sense at all. But as far, yeah. So who took his phone too? Yeah. When do the phone come into play? I don't believe that's what they were saying, because I broke down that video and I said, I heard something about if keep doing what the F you doing if you want to find out. or something. It was something. It didn't have nothing to do with a phone. I even went and re-listened to it a couple times trying to see if I could hear something about a phone. It had nothing to do with a phone. You don't know our community and us. You mean the clan community. Who talking mess, mouthpiece? Separation was on. Oh, right. You talking about Trace, and he lost, in my opinion. Separation was only successful reintegrating black dollars. This guy is mad and plus annoyed equal guilty. Okay. Like, what is he mad for? Because that's all I'm getting. I just feel like he just so angry. If he ain't, make it make sense. Why he's so
guy that you fought was
white.
White.
I'm the only black guy involved in this whole entire thing.
Yeah.
And at all. Like, I mean, I don't know. Carter is white. The dude I got in a fight with is white.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only black guy involved with this. My girlfriend's white. My uncle's white. There was no other black guy involved. And I know Ben Crump tried to run with a story saying that was Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was like, nice try. But there was another black guy on the island. So now your whole narrative needs to change again.
Why would this guy say something to him anyway? What business of it was his? Or did he have a problem with him being with a white girl? Because you never know. Like, he don't know. He sounds like he don't know what made this man say something to him. Could he have been in a racial little profile type thing, or a little Emmett Till thing going on right there, boy? You talking to her like that? You know, like, I don't know. If you didn't know him and you just seen him before, why would he even say anything? Do he know your girlfriend? So to me, I would be wondering, like, why did he even butt in this in the first place? It had nothing to do with him.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that was Carter's involvement, and that was kind of it. Like, after the fight, man, I remember getting off the boat. I got off the boat, and
Okay, so he didn't say nothing about Carter. Okay, so what happened to Carter after he got involved? Did he get knocked the hell out? Warren had to run over there to get his brother because his brother was in a fight, but he ain't telling us that. I don't believe it. I mean, why are you, unless before this interview, they said purposely don't connect no dots. Don't make anything make sense to the people watching. Like, why wouldn't he go on to say the rest of the fight? Yeah, he got his nose dotted. He had to get put away. The guy was still trying to go at him. Whoever he was fighting with was pissed because I played the video and I'm like, what did they do to make this man mad? Why is this man this upset? Make it make sense. You just coming in here saying something. Anybody that's saying something stupid, you're just coming in here just to talk. Mess.
walked up to the island. I was telling people, like, hey, like, I just need to cool off. Like, let me be. This is after everything is dispersed. There was no crowd anymore when I walked off the boat. And I was like, let me be. Well, again, my uncle yelled at me. And I was like, I don't care what you're doing. Get back on the boat. We're leaving. So I got back on the boat. And we left shortly after that.
They left right after that. He went on the boat immediately. He said he don't care. Get ready. So why would it take them 30 to 45 minutes to leave? They left expeditiously. Because Unc ain't trying to fight. Okay? He like, man, we outnumbered. All them USA shorts over there, y'all. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, if that was the guy that we were looking at in the water and the same fight that I showed, that, yeah, they ain't want that trouble.
And we
never mentioning, yeah, you would think he would have been going off about that part. Yeah, and that guy, he hit a teenage boy and he did. No, they ain't talking about none of that.
Well, at least I know you from the interviews that you've done. Some of the other boys haven't spoken out at all.
Yeah.
You've had a chance to use your voice to put the truth out there. You did an interview with, I think, ABC. And you also did an interview with the Rolling Stones.
That was my first interview, with Rolling Stones.
The first interview was Rolling Stones, then ABC?
And then ABC, yes.
Now, from what you told me before this interview is that the Rolling Stones gave you a very fair interview. It seemed like the young lady who interviewed you articulated very clearly what you told her with no fluff, no nothing added.
And she really cared. She really did care. And she she made sure that what she was telling was the complete truth behind everything, with me, with my uncle, and then also fact checking on her side as being in media. And it all aligned, man. And when they came out with that, it was really genuine. When I felt that, it brought me to tears because it was like, that's the truth. That's exactly how it needed to be worded. And I appreciate.
I wonder if Nolan's death brought him to tears, because I didn't hear him say nothing about tears concerning Nolan, but the Rolling Stones interview brought him to tears.
I appreciated her a lot. And we took her out to Horn Island this morning to do another little bit. But she's done well, and that's the truth. Her story is nothing but the truth.
Now, ABC, on the other hand, did they treat you fairly, or how did they go?
So I don't want to say they treated me unfairly. The quotes that he used in the article, he did ask me for my permission on it. And I gave it to him to an extent. I changed up some stuff and that he initially didn't change when he came out with it. And then the voice recording, that's really what gets me, because that's what the main people are listening to, right? They're not going in and reading in depth in the article and really seeing everything. They're just going off of, well, what's on TV, because people don't like to read these days. But how they made that and cut a lot of my voice sounded horrible. Sounded bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like that side of it, but it already aired, so what was I going to do, really?
And at one point, I could have sworn you said that you didn't feel comfortable doing the interview on camera.
Yes.
And did you do that because you didn't want to be visibly promoted on television, or what? How did that?
So the side of that, and I didn't want to be on camera for two main reasons. I never wanted to do an interview and get famous. I never wanted any attention, per se, famous attention. I don't care about the negative side of it. I'm doing what I think is right. I never wanted any positive attention, let's say. All I wanted to be is for my guys to know that I had their back and I got Nolan's back. And I didn't want the investigation especially on social media side, I guess, and with Ben Crump and their legal team, to go down the wrong path at all. That was my sole purpose, is to tell the truth and to clear up lies. When I talked to ABC, they wanted to do an in-person interview, and I told them no. I told them no because I'm getting death threats, and I don't like them. It is what it is. I'm not putting myself out there any more than I need to, and I'm not sitting behind the camera and so for somebody to watch me talk about my best friend. And I told him, I was like, if you want to do an article, it's okay. I'll talk and you can do the article on that side of it. I never originally wanted to go on TV, period. He convinced me to end up only using my voice, which now I regret, and I wish I would have just sat in front of a camera so you can visibly see the cuts. But they manipulated the interview pretty well. They made it sound a lot worse. And I know for a fact, most of that interview, you can't understand me because I was in tears the entire time talking about it. When he asked me about Nolan's death, and he put it if you listen to it carefully, he cuts it and I just say die. Nobody wants to see him die. Don't talk like that, man. That's not what I said. I did say died during at one point in our interview, but I said we didn't want to see his life being taken from us, period. They didn't put that. They twisted some things around, and they almost made a different narrative to where it's like now people are coming out and lying. And it's like, man, no.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna. I remember I was like, I could have sworn
So with that being said, I mean, I just find it real odd that it's real funny that he has a problem with the way that they portrayed him in this article, but Nolan's mother is not supposed to have a problem on how her son's murder investigation is going. She's not supposed to do the best she can to get the proper help to get justice for her son, but he's sitting up here whining about how he looked in a damn interview concerning Nolan Wells. Make it make sense. I mean, you criticizing the parents, but you don't want them to, I didn't say that. They got one paragraph wrong and he had a problem. Like, see, people can dish it out, but they can't take it. So that's my thoughts on that. Like, how do you even talk about yourself in this? This ain't about you at all.
Said he didn't want to be on camera, and they put your picture all over the news. I mean, how did you feel about that? Was that something that you were okay with them doing it, or?
I kind of accepted it. I accepted it because I gave Rolling Stone permission to do it. So I know that's where they probably got that original photo of me and him standing next to each other.
But still, that's kind of weird that you tell them, oh, I don't want to, even if you gave you the permission to Rolling Stones, you go, I don't want to be on camera. And they put your picture up there on camera anyway.
I agree. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's odd, but I generally speaking, man, like I'm worried about my family's safety, but I have no regrets in what I've done and what I've said. Not one. I sleep better at night now that I've spoken up, and I felt like I've done my part of the good, and I'm willing to help any other time if anything else pops up that I can't help with. And I genuinely just want the truth to be heard about it all, and it kills me and it breaks my heart that my best friends are going through this. Like, this is at home. This isn't something I'm just watching through a screen, listening to you talk about it or listening to somebody else talk about it. I'm living this. I'm getting the calls from my buddies crying, asking me how I'm not scared out of my mind. How am I okay dealing with all this?
So one thing that kind of stood out to me.
So I want to put a break in it right now just to ask if y'all could please smack the thumbs up. Shout out to the 195 people tuning in on the vertical stream with 268 thumbs up. If you have not smacked the thumbs up, no matter which screen you on, can you please smack the thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel? I appreciate all of y'all being here, tuned in, and shout out to everybody supporting the content with jewels and gifts and chats and different things like that. Shout out to Charmaine for dropping the 30 jewels, flower jewels. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of y'all support, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you hear on the replay, please smack the thumbs up and also hype out the video so more people can know about Nolan. Okay, let's keep going.
Was a big contradiction on television was you said in your interview that you were really, really good friends with Nolan, his best friend. Nolan's mother said on television that as if she don't even know you and she don't know who you are, and you're definitely not, at least is what she alluded to, you're definitely not his best friend. So what's the truth in that? And how did that affect you? How did that make you feel?
So she originally touched and she said that we weren't childhood best friends. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. I moved to Ocean Springs in 9th grade. I met Nolan in 9th grade, as I've stated in my Rolling Stone interview. Nolan was my best friend, though. She can believe it or not, that was my best friend. No, me and her never had a sit-down in-depth conversation like me and you're having now. It was always, hey, how are you doing? I've been to her house multiple times. I've taken Nolan to school multiple times. I've left my vehicle at her house multiple times, even including the new vehicle I just got. Has gotten left at her house for 2 days. And I just got it. I haven't even had it for 4 months. My vehicle before that stayed at her house for almost a week. Me and her son went on trips together. We went to Florida for spring break together. You don't know me? I'm in all these homecoming and prom photos as our whole friend group. Me and Nolan are standing next to each other. You don't know me. Nolan's last name is Wells. My last name at one point in time was Walker. We were by each other in the alphabet when we graduated. Man, that's mind-boggling. It's insane. Me and Nolan have multiple classes together. Me and Nolan has always stayed tight. Nolan has always known that